Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And I think this is a video I'm never going to forget. I realized we are in a one-horse race. A one-horse race is a contest in which one candidate or competitor is clearly superior to all others and seems certain to win. Yes, regulation has hit a fever pitch, and thank goodness it has. The Libra coin has catapulted policymakers in Washington to push for regulation. Wow. That is so wonderful for XRP. With today's surprise press conference from Steven Mnuchin on crypto regulations, every XRP holder should have chills from his Q&A session. It prompted a 1 of 7 thread tweet from Mr. Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, because he states that the fact is Ripple has already been working with regulators, banks, and financial institutions. And that is to make XRP solve a multi-trillion-dollar problem. This should be a shot across the bow to any XRP non-supporter. You have just gotten on the wrong horse. Let me get a little more detail for you. Mr. Mnuchin, in this 26-minute press conference, says he invites responsible innovations, and of course he wants to maintain the integrity of the financial system. He also, of course, wants to take a serious role to protect the dollar, and they have had multiple meetings with Facebook. They want to be sure that they are complying with all of the anti-money laundering regulations. And they have a lot of work to do, according to him, and a long way to go before he is convinced. As of now, he's not comfortable. He does have a level of concern, and yes, also there are the privacy issues. He wants to hold Facebook accountable and convince everybody in the regulatory space that they are going to comply before they can access any financial service. The bad actors using cryptocurrencies is still a narrative. We know that the people in this space who have been really studying this narrative know that fiat is much more a problem for those bad actors. However, Facebook has a long way to go still. The G7 finance ministers are going to meet shortly, and we should get a very good detailed report from the chairman from France, because this is a very high on their list for discussions. And I think that it was at that 12-minute, 44-second mark where I realized, holy cow, this is a one-horse race. He was asked by a member of the press, aren't you afraid of painting everybody with the same brush? You have some of the crypto projects that are talking with the CFTF, the IMF, Christine Lagarde, the European Central Bank, and they're following the rules. And Mr. Mnuchin replied, and I quote, I don't think we're doing that at all. As a matter of fact, as I said, one of the reasons why I wanted to speak about this is there's been a lot of activity that's been going on for the last year on this, and whether it's Congress or other areas of the press, because of Libra, it's caught a lot of attention, and people weren't aware of all the work that's been going on. No doubt this is the work by the Ripple team. Let's take a look at those tweets from Mr. Garlinghouse. They are really interesting. I've never seen a tweet this long from him. So he just had watched the press conference, and he states right there in the first tweet that he has personally spoken to him on this topic. He has also been ruminating on President Trump's tweets from about crypto last week, and he agrees that it isn't likely going to replace fiat currencies. And he says, I have been very vocal that crypto isn't likely to disrupt the US dollar or other G20 currencies in my lifetime. But as Mnuchin indicated, the entire crypto industry should not be painted with one broad brush. It has come a long way since the days of the Silk Road. For the industry to succeed, we need to work with regulators and within policies, full stop. When I read the Libra white paper outlining a goal to create a new fiat currency, it was clear to me that the effort should be held to the same standard as other regulated financial institutions. And the fifth one, XRP is uniquely equipped to solve a multi-trillion-dollar problem by offering a dramatically faster and cheaper bridge for cross-border payments. Ripple already works with regulators, banks, and financial institutions like MoneyGram to implement this around the world. Moving on to the 6th of the 7th tweet. I hope there is no ignoring, laughing, or fighting as it relates to regulation of crypto. If we want to maximize progress forward, it's about working with the existing financial system, not against it. If not, we risk squashing innovation here in the US and letting foreign interests take control of this new sector of our global economy. Wow. So I am telling you, this is just icing on the cake. And when you take a look at one of the recent new hires of Ripple just a couple of weeks ago, step in, stage left, Michelle Bond, the lawyer leading government relations for Ripple. She has significant experience with policymakers and government. She is now the global head of the government relations of Ripple. She has been the head of global regulatory affairs for Bloomberg. She was also the senior counsel at the SEC, the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. She was also on the Council Committee of Banking for the U.S. Senate. She was a regulatory analyst and advisor to FINRA. She is also a member of the DC and New York Bar, that's Washington, D.C. She is a financial industry regulatory authority, an expert in financial services. I love her quote. Companies are starting to walk and talk in the fintech industry, but not potty trained yet. That is just so great. And then today we learned that the hearing before the United States Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs takes place tomorrow. This is the actual 7-page testimony of Mr. David Marcus. He is the head of Calibra at Facebook, and he is stressing that they will not proceed until they have fully addressed regulatory concerns. He goes on to really give the committee the words they want to hear. They say they are going to approach this with humility and that they have just begun the journey now. It's too expensive, they cite, for people to move their money around the world, and he thinks that the Libra coin will be a positive change for the whole world. As we get into a more connected global currency, there is economic empowerment, and it can democratize the space, and it's not going to be used as an investment, he says. The Libra will be fully backed to the Libra Reserve, which is a one-to-one against, so far, currencies, fiat currencies like the euro, the dollar, the pound, and the yen. There is no intention to compete with sovereign currency, as they say, and it's no single organization either, but a cooperative approach by many like Visa, Uber, MasterCard, PayPal, Kiva, etc. This diverse and global group is going to create a council, and the governance will be made with hopefully more than 100 members before launch. It looks like 2020 is still their hopeful launch date. And they want to work with the regulatory bodies they want to comply with FinCEN, AML, CFT, KYC, Know Your Customer, and they feel that they are devoted to that task. The entity will be headquartered in Switzerland, as we already knew, and that the Libra Association will engage in enforcement, combating crimes, and protecting consumers' privacy. They state that they will not monetize the data nor do any ad targeting. So what I see here is that they are giving everything they can at calming the waters so that they can proceed without a strong pushback. Okay, so on the 16th, yeah, this takes place. And then, did you know that after the Senate Bank Committee of the U.S. Congress, they are going to have another hearing in the lower house. So that will be scheduled for the next day. I can't wait to see all the news come out of the next 2 days over this. All right, everybody, I am jumping to the fluff. If you're new to this channel, I usually talk about something from Japan at the very end. And today I'm sticking with horse race. This is a little bit different. This is a horse race that occurs only in Hokkaido. I believe it is the only race of its kind in the world. It's called Banai racing, and these are Bamba horses. And they compete by displaying their incredible power, not their speed. They do so in a very unique way. They all get these kazari, which is decorations, and they're all usually homemade and quite seasonal. It's really kind of cute. But they do it. Here's another one with a snowflake motif. But they do it by pulling a sled, and these sleds are made of iron. They weigh 110. They pull them for 200 meters, and they also encounter obstacles. Let me show you what one of those obstacles look like. Here is a one with a steep incline, and the ground is a very deep, thick kind of gravel sand, and they have to do it with displaying their power and ease of being able to tackle this obstacle. In Hokkaido, the horse has been an irreplaceable partner. It is the northern island of Japan, and since the turn of the century, there has been a lot of pioneers that have gone to that northern island, and it's been a hand in human effort with the horse to pull heavy machinery and also to assist in their farming. So what they did at the turn of the century is they brought the Percheron horse from France. This is a horse that was bred in Western France. And then they also brought in the Breton horse from the Brittany Northwest area of France. And then lastly, they brought in the Belgian. The Belgian horse is a draft horse, which is, I think, well known even in the United States. So the races have different classes. Sometimes they are purebreds and sometimes they are of mixed breeds. With the mixed breeds, they have introduced the American Clydesdale and the Shire, but I think for the most part, it is still primarily from those three first breeds. Anyway, I think it's very unique, and if you happen to go to Hokkaido, they race all year round. I believe it's Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, and it's only like $1 to get in. So I hope you have the chance to see these amazing horses doing what they love to do, which is work. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.